You just can't make it up. Yeah, you know. USAID official pleads guilty to taking part in 550M Bribery scandal. You just can't make it up. Violated the public trust. USAID. You just can't make it up. Roll that beautiful intro.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
You just can't make it up. It's always some kind of scheme, scandal, some kind of regime, corruption, something. There needs to be people walked out in handcuffs. This is you just can't. And I want to send a huge shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to the family. I love you guys, man. Everybody that is tuned in right now, I hope that you are blessed, well, and healthy, and that you are having an amazing week, an amazing month of June. And 2025 goes well for you and your family. We are rooting for America. We're rooting for President Trump, and for things to be all brought out to the light, exposed, the corruption, people to be walked out in handcuffs. There needs to be term limits and handcuffs. We've seen how this whole USA thing is played out. We've seen what has been exposed with Doge, Elon Musk. Where taxpayers' money is going to. People don't know what the hell this is. Corruption with these Democrats, NGOs, Soros, and everything. It's just a disgrace. Everything that is taking place, man. And now USAID officially caught in a 550M bribery scandal as Democrats defended the agency. And as you know, Democrats are always involved in some kind of scandal. It's a scandal every single week, And then we've seen the biggest scandal just this last 4 years. Vegetable and chief scandal, auto pin gate. Didn't know who was running the country. Someone's eating ice cream and laying down in a bed on vacation. And they done plugged the machine in. Unbelievable. It's just scandal after scandal after scandal. And we seen what this whole USA thing is played out to be. And how much corruption's into that. Oh boy, it just gets worse. But huge shout out to Jennifer for sending this over for me to react to on the show today. And it just gets worse and worse for Democrats, like I told y'all. It's just going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. So let's get into this. If you're new to the channel, join the family. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button for your boy. Yeah! And let's jump into this, man. Oh, boy.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button because it helps us keep bringing you this content. Now, y'all, you remember just a few short months ago when we had somebody named Elon Musk, and he was going through all of the different governmental agencies and departments looking for fraud, waste, and abuse.
And look, we're not going to come on here and bash Elon. I know some of y'all might feel this way about him this way after this whole Trump fallout, and then they got back together. Now he's putting heart emojis underneath Trump's post. He said, I'm sorry. I went too far, I thought he was doped up myself. I didn't know what to believe. I thought Elon was doped up. Gonna come out and call my president a pedophile, and you got Lil X jumping up and down and having a good time with our president, Lil X, and Trump out there drawing the Lil X and having a good time, daddy daycaring and all kind of stuff. I didn't know what to believe. I said, but we know Trump's involvement with Epstein, so you're not gonna do that, Elon. Yeah, what Elon was on. He said I went too far. He done to his draws. But we're not gonna come on here and bash Elon, man. Elon is he's fixed his I guess his character. He's been very transparent and even has posted both drug tests. He did 2 drug tests and posted them on the internet for everybody to see, and he has broke the internet. And Trump has even reposted Elon Musk's drug test. And everybody thought Elon, the fake news media, everybody thought Elon was on some kind of drug. You know, he showed up to the White House with a black eye. He was fidgeting, twitching, and itching in there. People didn't know what to believe. They thought Elon was doped up. They thought he was doped up. Then bathed himself in that Diddy oil. We didn't know what to believe. You know, but come to find out that maybe that wasn't true. Some of them patriots say Elon might have took that drink. They take that drink and it clears out their system in the next 5-6 hours. They say Elon took that drink and he downed like 2-3 bottles of water. It clears out your system. But Elon put a lot on the line, man. And again, I'm here for it, man. You know, we're not gonna bash him. He sacrificed a lot for this election, for President Trump, to expose a lot in our government, the spending, the fraud, waste, and abuse. You know. And seeing how much has come out, people should be hotter than fish grease, you know. And Americans are hotter than fish grease as a lot of this stuff has hit the fan. And I don't blame y'all. People asking for refunds, they want their money back. I don't blame y'all. You know, it's a disgrace, man, what is taking place in America, in our government, you know, and the corruption down there in Washington. It needs to be term limits and handcuffs. Term limits and handcuffs.
And do you remember when he and his team, when they found the USAID fraud, waste, and abuse, and they started to talk about it, and a certain group of people got all up in arms and said, no, USAID, that's the people's. They're doing the work all across the world. They're feeding orphans and things. Well, maybe they were, you know, I don't know. But I do know that they have just been found to have been involved in a $550 million bribery scheme. That's a USAID official who has recently pleaded guilty, y'all. So this is where some of your money was going, okay? Nearly $500 million of your money going to bribing officials. Let's take a look here. But before we do, Congress for more basement and 3 businessmen pleaded guilty Thursday to participating in a $550 million bribery scheme involving embattled U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. Roderick Watson of Maryland is alleged to have received bribes valued in excess of $1 million while working at USAID in exchange for using his position as a trusted overseer of taxpayer money to direct 14 prime federal contracts to 2 consultant companies, Aprio and Misspent. 57-year-old Watson pleaded guilty to bribery of a public official and faces up to 15 years in prison. He's scheduled to be sentenced in October. Now, y'all, let's see what this scheme entailed. As part of the elaborate scheme, Walter Barnes, owner of Misspent, and Daryl Britt, owner of Aprio, used Paul Young, the president of a subcontractor used by both Misspent and Aprio, as a middleman to conceal some of the bribes destined for Watson. All right, y'all, try to understand that if you will. The scheme dates back to 2013 when Watson, working as a USAID contracting officer, agreed to use his influence at the government agency to steer contracts to Britt's Aprio firm in exchange for bribes, according to the DOJ. Britt's company had been eligible for lucrative federal contracts as a designated socially and economically disadvantaged business by the SBA, Small Business Administration. When Aprio graduated from the SBA 8 program, the scheme shifted and Watson began awarding contracts to Barnes' Misspent company, an Aprio subcontractor, between 2018 and 2022, in exchange for bribes, of course. The USAID official received, quote, cash, laptops, thousands of dollars in tickets to a suite at an NBA game, a country club wedding, down payments on 2 residential mortgages, cell phones, and jobs for relatives from the 3 businessmen as part of the scheme. Shell companies, fake invoices, and fraudulent payroll sheets were all used to hide the corruption, according to the DOJ. So, y'all, this is how some of, hint, hint, probably a lot of, our tax dollars are being used. And frankly, this is just one of many USAID misexpenditures. Here we're going to take a look at Ted Cruz. You probably have been looking at Ted Cruz like, why am I seeing Ted Cruz this whole time? Because Ted Cruz is going to talk about some other USAID misexpenditures that were found by Doge. Let's take a look.
They've already found considerable waste, fraud, and abuse, in particular within USAID. Among the things they discovered that the previous administration was spending money on were $1.5 million for advancing DEI in Serbia's workplaces.
Disgrace.
$2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. $6 million for tourism in Egypt. Paying for, quote, hundreds of thousands of meals that went to Al-Qaeda-affiliated fighters in Syria. Funds for the production of opium, the primary ingredient in heroin, in Afghanistan, which chiefly benefited the Taliban. $1 million to help disabled people in Tajikistan become, quote, climate leaders. $1 million to a Hamas-linked charity, and $15 million for contraceptives and condoms in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. You will forgive President Trump and the American people for thinking these expenditures are unnecessary and wasteful.
Look at all the fraud that he's found in this USAID. It's a disaster. What the people, radical left lunatics, they have things that nobody would have even believed. The whole thing with $100 million spent on you know what, with money going to all sorts of groups that shouldn't deserve to get any money.
But Elon Musk's demolition project on government waste and fraud is sending some Democrats into a spiral. They are mad that Musk is making all these changes, so mad that some of them want him locked up.
I've got to tell Elon Musk, no.
Put this heifer in handcuffs. In her wig. They should have been put this heifer in handcuffs. This swamp creature. Term limits and handcuffs.
Nobody elected your.
He must be made to pay. We must enforce the law. Lock him up. Lock him up.
It is pretty clear we have to shut down the Senate. We are at war.
She assaulting officers. They need to put that big dirty scamming heifer in jail. Been put her in handcuffs.
So y'all, you know I've been banging on the drum, telling y'all to get your money right, get your retirement right. Y'all, it's just that the United States, we have a lot of money, but we have a lot of hands in the pot. And frankly,
a lot of hands in the pot. A lot of people's hands in the cookie jar. Just can't make it up, family. Just can't make it up. But I know y'all already know this. We didn't talked about this thousands of times on different videos, different shows.
Elon Musk, he tried to get out there. He tried to straighten it out. It didn't work. Okay. It didn't work. It's over. The whole reform, the whole austerity, the whole correcting the budget thing is done. Okay. At least for now. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me because I wanted it to work, but it didn't work. And we have to be honest about that. So it's time for us to take care of ourselves. Okay. So I would like for y'all to, one, let me know down in the comments, what do you think is going to happen now that Elon Musk and Doge failed? First of all, do you agree with me that it failed? And two,
do y'all think Elon Musk and Doge failed? I know some people are saying no. A lot of people are saying this and that. Let me know how y'all feel about Elon Musk and Doge. And we know we were expected to most likely see President Trump and Elon back in the Oval Office sometime soon. And Doge is still there. But again, let me know how y'all feel about all this, man. Hey, just can't make it up, man. We've been calling out the corruption, and I want accountability. I want handcuffs. People to be walked out.